y'all, it's Ilana and welcome back to my channel. So this is a very long overdue video that many people have asked me to make. So this is going to be me talking about dating profile do's and don'ts. If you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name's Ilana. I live in Portland, Oregon, and I make videos all about navigating life and dating in Portland. So if you're thinking about moving to the Pacific Northwest, or maybe you're just single navigating the dating world, go ahead and subscribe down below because I think you'll really like it here. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about what you should and shouldn't be doing, or at least I advise you should or should not do in your dating profile. I've made videos before talking about how to not be basic on Hinge, and I highly suggest you watch that video either before or after this one so it gives you the whole picture of what I'm going to be talking about. I've also done videos where I would swipe on Hinge and I would talk about how there were certain things that I saw in men's profiles that I didn't like, and the reason I'm pointing out men is just because I date men, I don't date women. And another thing is that I do want to mention I did delete my dating apps back in December, so I haven't been on dating apps since then, but other people still rely on dating apps to find people to date, and so I wanted to make this video for you and how to better your profile and make yourself more approachable and market on a dating app. I am going to break this video into two sections, so I'll do the do's and the don'ts. I'll do the don'ts first, and then I will have a section of things you should not do or you should do in your bio, and then things you should or should not do with your pictures. With that being said, let's talk about the don'ts first, and we'll go over the bio stuff first, and then we'll do the pictures. So this is a huge mistake that I see many people, especially men, who make this mistake in their bio. So I see a lot of profiles where they're super negative to people they want to attract. People will always mention how they're not looking for this, they don't like that, and that's problematic. Your bio should be positive. It should talk about you, not what you hate about other people. Technically, it is something that is about you, but that's not what we mean. It doesn't tell us like why we want to date you, like what makes you awesome. Why should people date you? And don't ever say, I'm a nice guy or I'm a nice girl, because chances are if you say that, you're probably not nice. So do not be negative or sound bitter in your bio, because that's just gonna make people not want to swipe on you. And to piggyback off of that, it's really important that you don't say what you don't want in a partner. Instead, say what you do want. Say what you are looking for. Now, I'm not talking about, oh, you must be 6 feet tall, you must make 6 figures, you must have big boobs, you must be super feminine and fit. No, that's not what we mean. I'm talking about things that you actually want in a partner that isn't about physical attributes. Like, do you want somebody that really likes to watch rom-coms with you? Do you want somebody who is looking for a serious relationship? Do you want somebody who wants to have kids? Those are the things that I'm talking about. So that's what I mean when I say list the things that you want and not what you don't want, because when you list off things that you don't want, it, again, makes yourself sound very arrogant and bitter and negative, and people don't want to encounter that on a dating profile. The next thing that I want to talk about, which is about things that you should not say on prompt answers. So I made a whole video that I mentioned earlier in the intro about how to not be basic on Hinge. So to quickly piggyback off of that, because I made a whole video, it is so important that you don't use the same bullshit cliches that everybody is using. It doesn't make yourself sound unique. It's just gonna make people's eyes roll to the back of their head. The point is to answer the prompts, and if you don't know how to answer the prompt, then choose a different prompt. Then choose a different prompt! Prompts that these dating apps give you are not supposed to be hard riddles to answer. You know yourself better than anybody else. And if you don't know how to answer a certain prompt, again, choose a different prompt. It's not hard. And speaking of prompt answers, Don't be generic or vague. There's a prompt that says the best way to get to know me and you answer with just ask. That goes to show you that you're lazy, you don't care, you're not putting in effort, and that's a big red flag. Don't be vague or generic. Be specific, and this can also go to your bio as well. Talk about things in a little bit more detail. If you like traveling, talk more about some of the places you've traveled to, or if you like sports, dig a little bit deeper. What kind of sports do you like? Do you have a favorite sports team? Who do you root for? And I just see so many people being way too vague and not specific on their profiles, and it really hurts them because when you get a little bit more specific, it can actually create a good conversation. And I have seen people say, well, Ilana, if I just say I like sports, that can still open up the question being like, oh, what kind of sports do you like? And technically, yeah, it could. I get what you're saying, but the thing is, think about it this way. You want to attract the people that you want to date. Think of the dating pool as like a target audience for you because you are what you attract. If you want somebody, for an example, I live in Portland, you are a big Blazers fan, mention that you're a big Blazers fan, and I can guarantee you, you'll probably match with some Blazers fans and you guys can talk about the Blazers and your love for the Blazers, and maybe you can even go to a Blazers game as a date, which, by the way, great date option, just saying. So that is what I mean when I say get a little bit specific, because it really will target people that have the same interests and hobbies and passions and things that you like to do together. Think of it that way. That's definitely what you want in a partner. Don't lie to me. You want somebody who's going to have shared interests. A huge, huge, huge don't, and I see this all the time. Men, I hate to call you out on it, but y'all are so bad with this one, is do not lie on your profile. So we're talking about lying about your height, your intentions, your age, your name, your values, your political affiliation. Just be honest. If you are 5'7", don't say you are 6 feet tall. Say you are 5'7". But Ilana, a lot of girls won't want to date me because I'm not 6 feet tall. I don't give a shit, because the right woman will not give a shit that you are 5'7". I'm 5'1". I will happily date a man who is 5'7". Give me all the short kings. I'm telling you, you're gonna attract a lot of short women. Just be honest. I know men get very insecure about their height, and I'm sure there are women or people who are non-binary who are also insecure about their height, but do not lie about your height, because I promise you, when people meet up with you, they're gonna easily know that you are lying. Don't think of it as like, well, nobody's gonna swipe on me because I'm being honest with my height. Don't worry about that. If you don't get matches because you're honest with your height, that is not a you problem. Just be honest. I really don't care what other women are saying, well, I want a guy who's 6 feet tall. Just ignore that. Be honest, share your real height, share your real intentions. So if you don't want a relationship, fucking state that on your profile. Yes, you may not get as many matches, but you will attract people that will also be on the same page as you. Just be patient. I think that's a big mistake that y'all make on dating apps, is that y'all are not patient enough with dating apps, and y'all always jump to conclusions and think that other people are the problem. And while sometimes they are, sometimes you're the problem too. So just be honest, okay? It's really not that hard. And then the last thing that I can say about don'ts to put in your dating profile, don't list your social media handles. Don't mention your Snapchat, your Instagram, your Twitter. Don't do it. You can mention maybe that you're a content creator, but don't share the link to your social handle, because that can be a great way to open up a conversation. But the second you give an invitation for your social media handles, you're gonna be getting a bunch of random people, and people are just gonna think that you're using your dating profile as a way to gain followers. And that's not what a dating app should be. A dating app is supposed to be finding a person to share your time with, whether it's romantically, physically, whatever you want to do with dating apps. That is the only thing that I have left to say in terms of don'ts on your profile. Now let's get to the don'ts for pictures, because whew, we got a lot to talk about. Number 1, do not post any pictures of you with groups of friends. If you are so insecure that people are gonna assume that you don't have friends because you don't post pictures of you and your friends on dating apps, fuck that person. That is such narrow-minded thinking, and I will happily sit that person down and be like, yo, you're being unreasonable. Dating apps are not the place to showcase your friends. I don't go to a guy's profile, and if I see it's just pictures of him, I don't think he's a friendless loser. I am 100% confident, or don't doubt, that he has friends. I don't think of things like that. I'm not like women who's like, oh well, if he doesn't have pictures of him and his friends, he must not have friends. Red flag. That's not good thinking right there. I'm sorry. And if you're one of those ladies who thinks like that, I'm calling you out and holding you accountable. Pictures should be of just you and you only. I don't care about your friends on your dating profile because I can always meet them later on. I believe you have friends, okay? So it should be pictures of you and just you only. And also, nobody wants to play Where's Waldo. This one is a big, big don't. Do not post pictures with you and dead animals. Look, I understand if hunting is a hobby of yours, but there are so many ways that you can showcase your hobby without posting a picture of a dead animal. Post a picture with you in your camo, or you can post pictures with you in the fishing rod, or a picture of you by the lake in your fishing gear. That's the best way to showcase that you have a hobby. But I'm telling you, people don't like seeing pictures of dead animals. It's disgusting, it's nauseating, and it's just not appropriate in my opinion. So please stop with the fish pics or the dead buck pics. It's not hot at all. The next one is don't post selfies. If you're gonna post a selfie, you need to know how to take a selfie. I see a lot of guys, I'm just speaking from my experience because I date guys, a lot of them will take a bunch of pictures with unflattering angles, and it really just makes them look unpresentable. There are so many ways that you can take pictures of yourself if your friends aren't around to take pictures with you. Set your phone up against like a water bottle or on a counter and put it on self-timer mode, or if you have a tripod, again, use the self-timer mode and you can take a great picture of yourself. Also, don't post pictures that are poor quality. I see too many people posting pictures where they're dark, where they're blurry, where they're grainy. You should have pictures where the lighting is good, we can clearly see your face, the image is sharp and in focus. It's not hard. And don't use the same pictures that everybody else is using. I don't care if you've been to Machu Picchu. I'm tired of seeing pictures of people traveling to Machu Picchu. I'm tired of seeing pictures with the same type of thing over and over again. It's so overdone and cliche. I know you can be more original than that. Your pictures should be unique, and it should not be the same thing that everyone else is doing. Another tip, do not post pictures where you're hiding facial features. So no sunglass pictures. Not a single picture of you should be wearing sunglasses. Don't wear hats in your pictures because we might think that you're bald. Just so you know, there will be people out there who will admire your bald head, okay? So if you just post pictures where you can show your bald head, I promise you, you will attract people who will not give a shit about that. Stop worrying about what society has said and just fucking be you. Make sure your whole face or your whole head and your whole body is present because we love transparency. And don't just use one picture. You probably have the option to use up to 6 pictures. Use all those 6 pictures. If you don't have any, ask a friend to take some nice pictures for you, or again, do the whole tripod thing. Not hard. Ooh, this is a good one. Don't post pictures of you and kids or your niece or your nephew or your little brother or sister. Listen, parents, I know your kids are your absolute pride and joy. It's totally fine to say that you have kids, but posting pictures of you and your kids is wildly inappropriate because you're exploiting your children out to strangers, and it's putting them at a huge risk that you may not be aware of. And that goes to the same people who post pictures of their nieces and nephews. I mentioned this in my Hinge prompt video where I said, don't post pictures of you and your nieces and nephews because, especially if you didn't get consent from your brother or sister who owns that child, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. And again, you're still exploiting a child. You may not realize you're doing it, but you are. So do not post any pictures of kids on dating apps. That is not the place to post pictures of kids. Just say you have kids, and then when you go on a date, then you can show pictures of your kids, okay? Much, much safer. This should be a no-brainer, but you'll be surprised how many people don't do this. Don't post pictures of you and the gender of the person that you're attracted to. So if you are a straight male who dates women, do not have pictures with you and other women in your pictures. Do not post pictures of you and your ex. Do not do the whole crop out thing. Just no. Absolutely no. We're gonna assume that you're not single, you're not over your ex. It's gonna make us feel insecure. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't use Snapchat filters. I know women are very, very guilty of this one. Don't use filters. There's a difference between using like preset filters to maybe like make a picture look nicer, but when filters completely change how you look in a picture, that's where I draw the line. So don't use Snapchat filters. Just don't do it. If you're gonna post a picture with you and a dog or a cat or another animal that could be considered a pet, make sure it's your pet. Because if you post a picture with you and someone else's pet, I'm gonna think that's your pet, and when I find out that it's not your pet, I'm gonna be very disappointed. So don't post pictures with you and animals that don't belong to you. And don't use pictures that aren't of you. Dating apps are not Instagram. I don't wanna see pictures of sunsets or mountain tops. While those are very nice, they don't belong on a dating profile. If you want, it can be a picture with you and the sunset as long as I can see your face. Again, dating apps are not Instagram. This is not the place to showcase your photography. That's not what this is for. Go to Instagram for that, okay? Okay, I think I just covered everything of the don'ts. That was a lot. Let's go to the do's because I don't have as many do's, and I feel like I've already mentioned some of the do's with the don'ts, so let's get into that right now. Here are the do's for your bio. I mentioned this earlier, but do be honest and authentic. Don't lie about physical details about yourself. Don't lie about your hobbies and interests. Just be you. There will be people out there who will appreciate you for you. Don't get discouraged if you're not getting matches, because that just means that the people who are not matching with you are simply not your people. Those are the people you don't want to date. You don't want to date somebody who's not interested in you, okay? So please don't be afraid to be honest about who you are, without sounding like an arrogant jerk, of course. Make sure you're filling everything out and you're putting in effort. A common mistake that I see is people don't fill out their bio, people don't answer the prompts, or they don't utilize all the pictures. Effort, effort, effort. If I stumble across a profile where you don't even put in effort into your profile, I'm gonna assume that you won't even put in effort into our relationship. It's gonna show to me that you're lazy and that you're not taking this seriously, and that's a red flag. So prove yourself that you're taking the dating app seriously and you're filling it out. You can still be silly and goofy, especially that's part of your personality, but utilize the features that the dating app has. So this leads me to the next thing. I know Hinge has those voice prompts, and then I know Bumble, you can do video responses. Take advantage of those. Those are really cool, and it's a great way to showcase your personality and who you are. When you're writing your bio, make sure you keep it concise. You can still talk about a couple things that you're interested and still be specific, but don't make it too long because again, people's attention spans suck. And guys, show confidence. Don't say that you don't know why you're on this dating app or you've never done this before. It shows that you're very insecure and you're lacking confidence. People think confidence is sexy regardless of your gender. Also make sure your grammar is good. Do a spell check. Have someone review your grammar if you suck at grammar, but just make sure that your grammar is good. Just a little heads up with that one. Do take your profile seriously. As I mentioned this earlier, even if you don't want a serious relationship, there will still be people who also want the same thing that you want, but you still need to market yourself well. So those are pretty much all the do's that I have in terms of the bio. Let's talk about the do's for the pictures. This should be an obvious, but do showcase pictures of you doing your hobbies and your passions and your interests, as long as your face is present, of course. Is skydiving something you like doing? Cool. People get skydiving shots all the time. Make sure your face is present and post that. That's really cool. Do you enjoy riding horses? Awesome. Have a really cool picture of you riding horses where people can see your face. As long as you're showcasing your face doing some cool thing, because that gives people something to work with, which is exactly what you want when it comes to starting a conversation. Make sure you're smiling in some of your pictures. You don't have to be smiling in all of your pictures, but your first picture you should definitely be smiling because It sets up the mood to where you're being friendly and warm and welcoming into your dating profile when somebody stumbles upon it. So smile. Make sure that your pictures are updated. So anything from the past 6 to 12 months is fine. I wouldn't do anything over a year old. So just make sure that you're keeping your photos up to date and that they accurately reflect who you are and what you actually look like. Your pictures are the best way to showcase your personality. If you're a goofy person, let me tell you, one of the best pictures I love to show off a goofy personality is when you're at a wedding and you're breaking it down on the dance floor. I love that. I think that's great. There are so many fun things that you can take pictures of and be silly. As long as it's a picture of solely you and your face is present, do it. Own it. And I promise you, you're gonna attract a lot of great people. Whew. Okay, I think I said everything that I needed to say. I really hope this helped, guys. I know that was a lot of information, but I promise you, if you follow these guidelines, it will really set you up for success when it comes to getting more matches and more quality matches. Don't worry about the quantity of matches, worry about the quality. So don't freak out if you're not getting matches, because it's not the end of the world. Keep going, and if you feel like dating apps just aren't for you, then you can delete them. That's totally fine. It's exactly what I did. But I really hope this video did help you. If there's some other do's and don'ts that you think I missed, do comment down below and let me know, and especially let other people know so they can make sure to do them or to not do them. And if you liked this video and you thought it was helpful, do make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!